Into the FRYE zone. Hey, Dad.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing
How's
very
everybody?
well. Everybody doing well? Hello.
Yeah. Hello to everybody.
All
Yeah.
right. We got a lot to talk about today, Dad. I mean, we got a lot of content to go through in an hour. I'm sure, sorry about what happened last week, you all. We were having some technical difficulties. It's kind of hard sometimes when you have, you know, when you have anything like this, when you're doing any type of live stream and stuff, and you're getting it live, so you're getting it authentically, problems, whatever, mishaps, spills, and everything. And that's what's happened last week. So people didn't, I don't know, Dad, but I don't know if anybody missed your COVID update last week. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's going on with COVID.
There are over 1 million doses have been given out now, and it looks like we're running a couple of weeks ahead of schedule where we wanted to be by this time, which is great. I look for by the time May is over with, that anyone who wants to be vaccinated will be vaccinated. For people to actually check with their local health department and sign up, because they're not testing, but they're giving vaccinations for all ages now. And it's, moving pretty fast, and everybody needs to get on board so we can get rid of this thing, keep moving, get things back together.
Dad, do you feel that it went through enough trials, or do you feel that, because there are some people who are hesitant to, take the vaccine because it hasn't gone through enough trials? What is your perspective on that?
It was rushed through pretty fast, but as I say, we as a country are always a little behind as far as us releasing any drug beyond other countries releasing it before us. We go through so much regimen, but I think it's needy. I think that it was needed to be rushed, and I'm at a point that I believe it's going to be okay. I feel more and more positive about it after getting the results of people who have taken it, and with the good results that we're getting from all 3 vaccines. So I still recommend.
Do you know anybody that had any side effects afterwards?
None that were major. No, I have not talked to anyone yet that had any major side effects to my knowledge, other than sore arm and feeling a little yucky. Some of them after the second dose, if they had to get the 2-dose vaccine. But no major things that I've heard of, but everything has side effects. Everything, that you take every day on a daily basis as medication, you're going to have some side effects, but I recommend it that all people get it and get it as quickly as they can.
So what do you think from your perspective, if everybody gets vaccinated and, first of all, do you think they're going to make everybody comply with getting vaccination? Is it going to be just as similar as to if you can decide if you want to have a vaccination just like the seasonal flu shot, or do you, and if so, and if not, when do you feel that everything will be going back to normal?
Well, it depends on the variants that have developed and how badly that goes. I feel that we're going to probably have a pretty good summer. I think things will be starting to go back to normal this summer before the fall. Me personally, and that's the way I feel it's going to be, pretty much back to normal, but not totally normal. You know, uh,
Yeah.
there may be some precautions that we may have to take, but I'm hoping that this will be a good summer for us finally.
I hope so too. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a strange set of it's been very weird this last year, whatever. Just actually being going through a pandemic, it's been extreme, very strange. So I'm hoping that we do get back to some normalcy. I know that COVID cases are going down, and I don't know if that's because everybody is complying as far as wearing the mask, because it definitely is not to the fact that people are getting vaccinated. It's more that people are being more compliant, and
Right,
and laws are being put in place where people are not gathering as much in places where there's a possibility of people being affected. So it is mutating to the point, I believe, where it's not as bad as it was when it originally came out in its full force. So
right,
yeah.
right. Do you still have the websites that we had on our program last week that I had sent you for people to give them updates on the viruses?
I
Or should I resend them to you and you can put them on your page?
Yeah, I think you should resend them to me. I can grab it from the last broadcast and see if I have it from our last broadcast, but it would be good if you could send it to me so that people can get a better understanding of the vaccination itself. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Dad. Glad that you can give us a little update on that. So, the last time that I talked to you, you and I were talking about coming to America, that you were just at that point getting ready to watch it, I believe. So, what did you think about it, Dad?
I thought it was well done. I was happy to see that mostly everyone that was in the original movie had some kind of a small part in the uh, prequel. Well, not a prequel, I guess the remake or whatever you might want to call it.
Second, yeah, it is definitely a second
Sequel.
version. Yeah, not a prequel, but the second version of it, like a
Second version
continuation.
because they yeah, right, exactly. And I was just happy to see so many people getting a chance to still be a part of it. I thought that the script was well done, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I really enjoyed it. It was supposed to be a funny movie, and it was still funny. It was both, and I thought it was done very well,
Yeah,
and I
I don't.
loved it.
There's been a lot of criticism about the movie from some people. First of all, I don't think you could recreate the magic that the first movie was. You just cannot do that. But if
Mm-mm.
you can make me still laugh and get tickled by the antics of everything, it was so well worth it to me and much needed. And I don't think that there'll be a Coming to America 3 or anything like that. But it just was really, I thought it was really well done. And there were some parts of it that made me even get like a little verklempt or teary eyed, because it was bringing back a happier time. And I think that that's what they were aiming for. They were bringing back a time which was the late 80s, because I think Coming to America came out in 1988, because it came out the year that I came to New York City as a flight attendant. So
Right.
it brought back all of those wonderful memories, and the discovery of this amazing film as it was when it was created. But yeah, I mean, just some of the antics in it were really hilarious. You know, the cast was well picked. I mean, anybody that was funny, that is funny, was in this movie. And then some really, without giving it away, if you have not seen it, like I said, I highly recommend it. But there are some like really surprise appearances in the film, and I was like very shocked. I was like, where did they get this person? It was
Mhm.
really funny. In my opinion,
Yeah.
though, in my opinion, and oh, by the way, I don't know if everybody knows that Eddie Murphy's daughter actually stars as his daughter in this film. This young lady right here is his daughter,
Right.
and
She
she
did a
was
great
really,
job.
yeah, she was excellent in it. And it's funny because while we were watching it, I said to, a lot of times when they cast kids in films, they don't necessarily look like the parent. And I said to Sean when we were watching it, I was like, wow, she looks just like she belongs to that family. Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his daughter. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
just all of the kids did it really well. It was a lot of send up to Wakanda in it as well.
Right.
the fight for the throne and all that other kind of stuff. So they did give a lot of send up to Wakanda. I mean, at this point, Wakanda has basically solidified everybody's image of a utopian society in Africa, where people are not, living in destitution or anything like that. That they're living, they're thriving, they're successful, they're wealthy, they're modernized. That's kind of exactly that. But they still maintain their Africanness, I guess. And the costuming in this was just gorgeous. Oh my
Yes,
gosh,
it
some of the
was.
things, and it was just amazingly gorgeous costuming. But in my opinion, I think the best performance out of anything was Wesley Snipes as General Izzy. He was. Who knew that Wesley Snipes was such a fool? Who knew he was such a fool? I mean,
Yeah, he did a great job.
he is hilarious in this movie. I mean, we're starting to see an older Wesley Snipes. I mean, I know that a lot of people have talked about this man's ego. Um, and the fact that when Wesley, the IRS went after Wesley and stuff. But one thing I could say about his black fan base is that we still supported him no matter what. We still love Wesley Snipes. We even see Wesley Snipes being an older version of Blade, because we can't see anybody else playing Blade but him. You know,
Well,
uh, that's how
that's
much he
true.
solidified in us. Yeah.
Right. And they're beginning to run a lot of the Blade trilogies or whatever on TV now. I don't know if it's Netflix or one of them is beginning to run all of the Blade events, movies that were made with Wesley, and I'm sure it had a lot to do with him being in this movie here to try to, you know, get him back on track again. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's a great actor.
Don't count this man out. After Dolomite, which we saw him in Dolomite, he was great in Dolomite. Oh,
Mhm.
was also another good Eddie Murphy movie. Great in
Correct.
Dolomite. I don't know. I know that Disney is recreating Blade for their Marvel universe, and they have Mahershala Ali playing Blade. And I think that if there's anybody that could do it just a little justice, it's him. As it's him. Mahershala Ali is just an amazing actor all around. Um, but I just feel like this is Blade is definitely Wesley Snipes' legacy. He actually, what people don't know is that he petitioned very hard to make Blade, and it was one of the best things that Marvel had that put Marvel on the map. It put Marvel on the map. Those Blade movies put Marvel on the map. It would not be the Marvel that we know today if it hadn't been for those Blade movies by Wesley Snipes.
Correct.
So I hope that that Marvel, in some shape, form, or fashion, gives him all his credit where credit is due when they do recreate this new universe for Blade. So yeah, but he was excellent in this movie. Definitely excellent. All right, so let's move on.
You lost me.
Dad, no, I hear you. It's just like a lot of feedback in the back, though.
Okay, I'm trying
Yeah.
to reconcile that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hmm.
Okay, that a
So
little better.
that sounds a little better. Yes. Now we definitely have to talk about this, Dad. I sent you this video for you to watch Silk Sonic's version of Leave the Door Open. Silk Sonic is headed by featuring Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak. Um, I know you had heard the song, but I don't think that you actually saw the the actual video,
No,
right?
no, I had
Okay.
not yet until you showed it to me.
Yes.
Right.
So one of the really wonderful things, and unfortunately, we can't show the video here because I will get blasted so much. I cannot tell you, you all, for a show that's on Facebook that's about music, I cannot play music. Even though we're viewing the music and not selling it or having advertisers or anything like that, I get flagged and they censor me, and I have to put in all these petitions in order to play any music. So we can't play any music here, unfortunately. But what what I loved about this video is, if you have not heard the song, I highly recommend it. Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak have aptly recreated the 70s sound and feel to the T. To the T. There's nothing modern in what they're saying, down to live instruments, beautiful vocals and harmonies. It's just fantastic. Dad, what is your opinion on it?
I thought it was very well done. I could hear the music from the '70s, music very similar to our music, background very similar to the backgrounds that we used to sing, and I was amazed at how well they were able to reproduce that, and I thought they did an excellent job. And I'm gonna have to go out and hear the whole album, but
Mhm.
what I have heard of it, it's great. I love it. I
So,
love
Dad, do you think that in any way that you heard, did you hear any of the Montclairs in that song?
it. Well, yes, I did, or maybe I just wanted to, but I felt a little bit of it. I could hear some of the vocal structure and harmony, and I said, yeah, that sounds like some of the stuff we used to do, because we had a unique harmony,
Hmm.
a lot of 5 chord uh, harmony. Just it just was very similar, and uh, I could hear that, and it
Okay.
just brought back so many memories, so
Yeah.
many
So,
memories.
what if, hi, my cousin Janie is saying hello. Hi,
Hi,
Janie.
hi, Janie.
Thank you for watching. Um, one of the things that we did not get to experience, that you all didn't get to experience, is I actually did let my dad listen to the song and look at the video together through our StreamYard. And at some point, when I can audit it so that you don't hear the song itself, I'll actually show it. I have not seen you smile this big about any modern music that's been out there to this day. And I was so pleased to see you have a big smile on your face over this song. You
Oh,
know,
thank you.
yeah, you really, really loved it. I know that Anderson .Paak is like a big fan of Bloodstone. I mean, he actually did something kind of like a little desk concert where he has a song, and I'm not really familiar with him. I am now. I'm starting to become a very good fan of his after listening to some of his music. But and he's so gifted. I mean, now you've got Bruno Mars, who's gifted, but then you've got this young man. It's just a beautiful combination between the two of them recreating this type of music. But they really sounded to me, when I listened to it, my first sound, the first thing I heard was the Montclairs. And like you said, Dad, I was like, am I hearing this because I want to hear this? Or am I hearing this because I actually hear some runs in there with that bass that sounds just like the Montclairs?
Mm.
And I
Yeah,
was like, this is young man. Does he know the Montclairs? Has he come across any of their records? You know, it would not surprise me if he had. I mean, as you know, you are like the greatest group that nobody's ever heard of, except for
that's
you
right.
people. And I've spoken about this before in the past, where I've come across random people that happen to know your music when I say that you're my dad, and the reaction that I've received is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
we had a
You
great
know,
fan base. We did.
you
We had a
did.
great
I mean,
fan.
as far as, I mean, I don't know, I could recreate this conversation. I could tell, just a little bit about it. But I was a flight attendant. I was flying a flight from London to New York. I happened to be working business class, and I was having a conversation with a gentleman, and we were just talking about our past and what we did and stuff like that. And I happened to mention that my father used to sing with this group, the Montclairs. This guy completely lost it. He's like, whatever happened to that group? Oh my God. He just was freaking out. I was so shocked. I was so shocked. I was just like, and he's like, oh my God, you're going to make me teary eyed. He goes, it was the best music. I can remember exactly where I was when I heard it, what relationship I was in. And I'm going to tell you that happened the second time I was at a barbecue at my neighbor's house, and her brother-in-law did the same thing. He got teary-eyed. He goes, "They don't make music like that anymore. They don't, they talk about sex but not love." And that's what the MONTCLAIRS did. There was so much love in that music. It was like infused with music. I literally had to go down and make this guy a CD. And he cried. He cried. He goes, "Oh my gosh, you're bringing me back to a time that was so much more simpler." And the last time that I had an incident like that happen was with a friend of mine, who came to dinner with me for my birthday. And I went out to his Jeep. He had just bought a new Jeep, and I was looking through his catalog of CDs. He's a DJ now, and I found the MONTCLAIRS CD there, and I just was like, "What do you know about this?" And he goes, "Oh my gosh," he goes, "You don't know, this group is the baddest group. I don't even know where this group came from." He goes, "But I heard them one night on a late show in Jersey. They play all this old music on this radio station. I heard them sing it, and I went everywhere looking for this CD, and I found it." He goes, "This group," and he went on, he's going on about this group, of how bad this group was. "This is the best group. The group is about love, blah, 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 blah." And I put the CD up to me, because it was not this cover, it was the other cover where you all are standing in St. Louis downtown. I don't know what
At the War Memorial. It's the War
Memorial.
Memorial.
The War Memorial.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, did anybody, look like me in the picture? And he looked at me, he's like, "That is so strange. Why are you asking me that?" And I said, "Because this guy right here is my dad." He did not believe me. He's like, "You're lying." I was like, "No." And so I opened up the cover, and I showed him where it said Keith FRYE on it. And I think it had you all's name. And he just was like, "Oh my gosh."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "What happened to this group?" He goes, "What happened to this group?" So it could just be that Anderson .Paak is the type of guy that loves this music that most people have not really tapped into. I mean, let's be clear here. A lot of people have come across the MONTCLAIRS music and actually sampled it for other artists.
Yeah, about 50 artists. About 50,
Yes.
50 rap artists have sampled our music. Yes.
And let's talk about two of them in particular. One is Lil Wayne, which his album became what was it? It went platinum.
Right. And one was by Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg All Stars. Yeah, I think it went platinum. The albums continually sell, and then they reach a plateau when they may go platinum or whatever, because they never stop selling. Because this was something done by Snoop Dogg probably back in the early 2000s, and but they're not alone. We've been sampled by Fat Joe, Yellow Wolf, Prodigy, a lot of groups. So, yeah, people have heard our music, and undoubtedly they've enjoyed it.
Obviously.
I was just giving you this tidbit.
What happens? Okay, tell me this. Wait, give me a second. I need to open my window because I'm like burning up in here with all these lights. Hold on.
Okay.
Actually, I just put my fan on, so okay, that should help a little bit. Oh my goodness! Now I know I'm getting old when I'm getting hot in my room because the lights are on. Okay, so tell me, give us the tidbit, Dad.
I was just saying, being a recording artist, I think the greatest thrill that I had during the years that we recorded, for me, was when we were traveling from city to city, and we weren't big enough to be traveling by air, so we usually drove or whatever, and we would go through certain cities, and your song would come on the radio as you're traveling, maybe to Pittsburgh, or we were going to Indianapolis or DC, and your record would come on. The feeling that would give you hearing yourself on the radio, as you're traveling all over the country. And I think that was one of the greatest feelings that I had as an artist during that time, is being able to hear yourself on the radio. That's a great thrill. Never forget it.
Dad, when somebody samples your music, what happens when somebody samples your music? Are you all aware
I
that it's being sampled, or
Most of the time you're not aware, and what is supposed to happen is you're supposed to get permission because the publisher of the music, which most of it was my brother and the record company, are supposed to give that permission, and the publishers pay the writer, which was Phil Perry, on most of the stuff. He gets 50%. And I can guarantee you, out of those 50 artists that we talked about, I don't think maybe one got permission to do anything with.
so then
So
what does it do then? When do you all then take it to task? You go and you tell somebody, listen, this music is being sampled, it's out there now, and then they go and they pursue it. The record company or the publishing company goes out and pursues it, or what
no,
happens?
you'd probably have to hire someone to go in for you, and I guess some type of entertainment lawyer or whatever, and and go after the artists, the record companies, because it's ongoing. Records sell perpetually, so there's money that's being made, money that was never paid, and that money probably is in limbo there and probably still available if it was, if someone would take that on to try to find out about how much money is still owed to the writer and to the publisher of our music.
Mm-hmm. And
But
what was the Little Wayne one that went platinum? What was the name of that song?
Lil Wayne greatest rapper album, uh,
Yep,
Carter
yep,
2, I think, something like that. About 2005, I think it was.
yep. It's a good song too. Yeah, and I heard every bit of which song did they sample? It was
Greatest rapper,
Grace Rapper. No, but
and
what song did they sing?
um, it was
Was it Prelude to a Heartbreak?
no, it wasn't Prelude to a Heartbreak. It'll come to me in a minute. I knew you would ask me that.
Be prepared.
It was probably one of the ones that was most sampled by mostly all of the rap artists for some strange reason.
Uh-huh.
Um,
They like the sound of it.
yes,
It sounds straight up like Superfly. That's what it is.
yeah,
I'm gonna look it
but
up right now and tell everybody what song it was that he sampled. He sampled "Do I Stand a Chance?"
do I stand a chance? Yes,
Yes, he
and
sampled
he
that.
he did about 20 other rappers. Yeah.
Yeah, "Best Rapper Alive" is the album version of the song. It's the sample of "Do I Stand a Chance?"
Hmm.
And it's all throughout the song. You can't miss it. So I mean, I think that in these situations where people, I think uh, you know, yep. Thank you, brother. That's my brother, David. Hi, David. Hello. Yeah, he's right. So, do I stand a chance? He
Hey,
said,
Dave.
"Thank you." Yeah. So that actually, I guess uh, taking stuff like that is the best form of flattery if you think about it, Dad. In a sense, I mean, of course, you want to get paid for that, but you definitely want to make sure that people are recognizing you and making sure that you all get your credit for that and your money for that, of course. But let's just say, for instance, that somebody just is mocking your style because they just love your music and they thought that y'all were dope, you know. Uh,
Yep.
I I think that that might have been the case when I saw this, and you're going to die when I show this to you. So, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak were at the 63rd annual Grammy Awards, of course, and they did leave the door open at the Grammy Awards. So, I just want to show the audience something here. Let's do a quick reveal. So, here is Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak singing together, you know, Silky, with Soul Sonic singing the song. But who wore it better? Yo,
Wow.
Dad, I saw, I saw. Hey, Tracy, that's my friend from work, Tracy, my sister. Hello, I,
Okay.
Dad. The first thing I saw when I saw them perform was like, I know those outfits. I had to find the
Wow.
picture.
Well,
So
maybe you know more than I know what's going on.
listen. Don't think that I'm going to ask Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars where they got that idea. And I think that they're wearing the glasses as a send up to you because you always had your glasses on. I can't. I'm telling you, who else wore these outfits?
Yeah, it sure looks very similar. In fact, that was the last outfit that we wore together as a group.
I'm like, look, Dad. Look, I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, oh my goodness. That is such an outfit. But not only that, I don't know if you all recall, I'm going to actually show a little bit of the performance. I'm not going to play the sound because I'll get flagged, but I just want to show a little bit of the performance of Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak at the Grammys. Okay, can you see that? See these outfits? Look, don't that look like y'all? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Very similar.
Always like Phil standing in front and y'all standing in the back doing y'all's thing. 3 of y'all. Yep. I'm telling you, Dad. I'm telling you. I think this dude has been dipping into y'all's history. And then let's do this. I want to show the audience something else. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, if y'all don't believe me, look at this. Can you see that?
Not yet. Let's see.
Nothing?
Wow.
Look at that. The only
that
difference,
is interesting.
Yeah, the only difference in this and them is they're not wearing the black bow tie, which y'all added in this one.
Yeah, we only did that for that television promo we were doing, but most of the time when we performed, we didn't have the bow ties. We just had the open shirt.
Right, exactly. Just, I'm telling you, look at that. It just is like so reminiscent of the MONTCLAIRS. I'm just saying.
Wow. I'm just saying, you may be right. Wow.
Yep, you're right, Tracy. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. You are absolutely right. And if it is attached to a song as great as this song, then by all means, I think that they did a great job. They did a great job of recreating that 70s film. Because if there's anything that's the 70s, it's the MONTCLAIRS. So definitely.
Well, if I run into Bruno and Anderson .Paak, I will let them know. I appreciate them stealing our suits from us.
Yeah, they raided your closet. Go and look and see if it's still there, Dad. See if your suit is still there. Interesting enough. Well, right. Let's move on a little bit. Let's move on to some other news out there that's going on. So apparently, the latest news to date is this incident with Kirk Franklin and his son. Apparently, Kirk Franklin and his son, Kerry-On, and the conversation that he had with him on the phone. So do you know anything about that, Dad?
I've been hearing about it. That Kurt used some explicit language in getting in his son's stuff. And some people are very disappointed with Kurt. And some people are disappointed in his son.
Wait a minute. Okay. So let's address that. Let's just rest right here. Let's ruminate right here. So if you don't know who Kirk Franklin is a Grammy Award-winning gospel artist, numerous awards, for Stomp and It's a New Day. All these songs that he's very famous for. And apparently he has an estranged son by the name of Kerry-On. And Kerry-On and him had a conversation on the phone. They were in the midst of an argument. And Kirk went there on his son. I mean, literally cursed him out on the phone. But here's the other half of that. The fact is that Kirion is 33 years old. He's a grown ass man, and that he would tape this and release this to the public, this conversation, as if that he would get support from people about whatever family issues are going on, which is a private matter, by the way, a private matter. So I'm just going to tell you what the majority of people are, and what I've been finding out is most people are supporting Kirk in this situation because this is a family matter. You know, you airing your dirty laundry out, uh, and letting everybody, so that you could get some sympathy from people about your 33-year-old grown ass self. So I applaud Kirk for saying that. But the sad thing about it is, if you would bring your parent to the point that they would curse you out that badly, what kind of son are you? What kind of son are you? So I feel this way about it. I feel that if there's anybody that's in Carry-On's camp in this situation, and they're upset about Kirk, who's this Christian man, a Christian gospel artist. Let's be clear here about Christianity. First of all, Christianity does not make you pious. It makes you a human being having a spiritual experience where we work on ourselves every day. And anybody that would ever rebuke you before rebuking themselves, because we're all sinners, that is not a Christian. Because I'm going to tell you, Christians are all good. We're people that have a supposed relationship with Jesus Christ and believe that Jesus Christ died for us, but that does not make us perfect. We are imperfect creatures. So here is a young man who is probably given a very privileged life, expecting something else out of his dad, and he's a 33-year-old man. And I don't know what got Kirk to this point. I actually was going to play the audio, but I decided not to, because I decided that I'm not going to even give this kid any credit. I think that when you're 33 years old and you're doing stuff to your parents at 33 years old, you have not gotten yourself together at 33. Shame on you. Shame on you. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. They are a family. They have family problems. They're just human family that, everybody has family problems. I mean, Dad, you understand that very well as a parent. So
Yes, I do.
this is just ridiculous that this kid did this. This man did this. Grown ass man did this.
Yes. Well, I I agree with you totally uh, in that respect. But on the other side of this edge, and I will be the devil's advocate on this. Um,
Oh gosh, Dad, are you really ready to step into this? Go ahead,
yeah,
Dad.
I'm ready to step into it
Okay, go
because
ahead.
whenever you get into the business of entertainment, whether it be acting, music, whether it be music that's gospel or whatever, and you give yourself to the world and the audience, and you're making your living from them, and they look at you and put you on a pedestal. You first of all must realize when you decide that's what you want to do, that you have to be very cautious and careful as to what may happen and get out, because we're all human and nobody lives what people perceive us to be, because we're all human and correct. And he's sort of like an image of like when you catch your pastor out at the bar drinking somewhere, and you know how disappointed you are when you find out, you hear your pastor, see your pastor doing something that he shouldn't be doing or whatever, because that's the lifestyle that Kurt has chosen, and that's what some people perceive of him. So he probably never thought that this would happen, but you got to always realize that it can happen when you are in that position and you put yourself out to the public, that things like this can happen. And I'm not agreeing with his son in one manner at all. It's just that this is what happens when you're out in a public figure, and that your livelihood comes from the public and what they perceive you to be. And I'm just sorry for him that it happened, because I know he's human just like everybody else is,
Yeah.
But that's the lifestyle you live when you go public like
Well,
that.
Dad, I agree with you to a certain extent. But that was his own son that did that. It's not like he was in a public place. It was not like that somebody saw him doing
Oh
something
yeah, it
inappropriate
was
with it.
wrong. It was
It was
wrong
his
for him
own
to do that to
son.
his dad.
And that was a private conversation between family. And so, in this sense, you have to look at who the real culprit is here. Someone who would choose to put his family out there and air any family issues at the detriment of the family, and for your own selfish gains.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, it was wrong for this son to do that. It was not
Oh,
so wrong
I'm
for the,
not denying that it
yeah.
wasn't.
Now the other thing too is I'm just gonna put this out here as a disclaimer to anybody. When I finally do make it to the point of success that I achieve that I want, y'all please don't make me a role model.
Right.
Christian, yes, love the Lord Jesus with all my heart and soul, but I'm gonna make mistakes. Now I will tell you I will own up to those mistakes. And I've made mistakes in the past that I can own up to, you know.
Mm.
But I am every day is a struggle for you as a Christian. Every day you are, you have to deal with the things in the world. You have to deal with all kinds of stuff. And some days you get a grade A and sometimes you get an F,
Yeah.
so I think what has happened here is the idea that Christianity as a whole and people who are Christian artists have this image that they're so um, above sin and so above humanness. And I think that who we should fault is that image that they're trying to portray, this whitewashed image of what it's like to walk as a Christian every day. You need to be real about this. And this is why people find it's, offensive and they have an aversion to being a Christian because what is being fed to us in society as far as what Christianity looks like, it's a false. It's false. It's work. Every day it's work. And I'm sad to say that because the things that we do as Christians, I'm telling you, will not please Jesus Christ. First of all, we don't show love, we don't show forgiveness, we don't show tolerance. Um, these are things that I have seen in images of Christianity, and we don't keep it real. We don't keep it real. We have everything tied up in a pretty pink bow, and that's not what this walk is like. It's a hard walk, you know, because there is you always living in the world and you living for God. And those things always meet in the road somehow, and then you have to make the decision of what you're going to do. It's a constant battle in the mind every day. So I feel this way about it. This young man, he definitely needs help. Um, but he did not get the support that he thought he was going to get from the public. It made him look like he was a brat,
And
plain
he
and
was.
simple. Yeah, and he is. And he is a grown man acting like that. So shame on you, you know. But let's move into some other topics because we are getting up to time, and I know we had a lot to talk about. Let's talk about the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry interview on Oprah. Lordy Lord.
Mhm.
Let's talk about that. So you saw the interview. I did not. I've only been hearing the after effects of it. Um, Tell me a little bit about it, Dad. What
Uh,
happened?
it appears that once she entered into the royalty family, that she felt like that there were some people within the family that did not care for her or did not like her, and it became a thing of possibly, I don't know whether it was her personality, maybe because of her race. I don't know, but she talks about uh, that there was a lot of tense moments when she and Harry were together about their marriage, about their children, uh, and um, and so everybody's taking sides. You know, people are saying, you know, that people support the royal family and what they do. There are other people who support Meghan. Um, and there's just been controversy on both sides. I personally uh, have my own personal opinion. My thing is, if yeah, Harry chose her and she chose Harry, then they should be together. And if they don't want to be in the royal set, that's their business. Because I wouldn't think I would want to be in it either, if
Oh,
if I could.
all the duty and the protocol, and the things that you can and cannot do, the
Right,
pomp and
right. That
circumstance.
wouldn't
I
be for
just
me
know.
anyway.
Yeah, I would try to break free of that one
Um,
myself.
but
So, so there
there have
was.
been some things said by some commentators about that she doesn't um, you know have the outward appearance of being okay. I'm breaking up. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go
Can you hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, lost.
Can you hear me, Dad? Oh man.
Yeah, I was breaking up and I couldn't hear. But anyway, it's about how black does she look? You know, and
Wait. Stop right there.
I,
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. She looks black?
she does to me. I
Okay.
can usually
Okay.
tell. I can usually tell our own.
Okay. I realize that. I realize that we could tell our own. But what about this girl, outside of the fact that she looks multiracial, makes her look black per se? What
Well,
makes her look black? What does that mean?
well, she has African features. Let's put it that way.
What is
She does.
African on her? What is African on her?
Her nose and maybe her lips and that type of thing, and maybe the tone of her skin lets you know that she's maybe
It
has
ain't nothing.
some African in it.
First of all, people that are from the Mediterranean can look like that. People that
Well,
are from Israel can look like that. I'm sorry. What is this? What is this
well, that and they
Africanness?
probably because they probably have African in them too.
Doesn't the whole world? Isn't that? Did
There
we
you
all
go.
start from it? Did we all start from that?
That's
But
right.
okay, so I overheard that there was some comment about the fact that they were concerned about the child being too dark. Is that
I had heard
correct?
that. That's what I heard.
Okay.
That the
So
child might be dark.
first of all, we all know that Harry likes color. That's nothing new, and I'm sure the family, the royal family knows that he likes color in his women. Okay, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. He likes a little. He likes a little chocolate in things. So I'm curious. Were they shocked that he married somebody that had African blood? Were they shocked by this?
They probably didn't
Is
think
this
he was going to marry her. They probably thought he might date her, but I think they were shocked when he married her.
no? I doubt that. Because it's been evident in everything. I remember watching something where he was in Africa dancing with some girls, dancing and dancing at a party, at an African party, getting down at the party where nobody else right there but him. Maybe there were people there that were white, but all I saw was him dancing with the girls. So it's not. I'm glad that his mom exposed him to a greater world because I mean, you know, I think he would be the one to kind of break up the whole British
Anyway,
image. Yeah, of all the pomp of the British, whatever they are, the
yeah.
stodginess.
Why not?
Why
Why not?
not him be the one? But I don't know why they would be shocked. I don't know why they would be shocked. Now, the fact that somebody would wonder if the child was dark or not, here's the interesting thing. Um, and this is the only thing that I'm going to probably fault Megan for. Um, Girl, you're black. I here, this drama is gonna go down. I hope your mama raised you to handle this kind of stuff because this is every day for black people. You're just in a royal family now. You really need to put on your girl pants on this one, your big girl pants on this one. So I feel this way about it. You knew what you were getting into when you married into this family, and you knew you were gonna have some ignorance there, some way, somehow. It's all about how you handle it and be a force to be reckoned with, so that they know not to mess with you. You might have to put on the black girl this kind of thing to get some people told. You might have to do that, but you're in a position of authority and power now.
Yeah, it wasn't no guess who's coming to dinner.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, her exposing it, in my opinion, is one thing, but her not handling it while she was there is another thing. Because I would have ate them some royal behind up. The first time anybody came out their mouth about how my child looked, oh, they would have seen the others. They would have seen the darkest shade of Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
I
Went
I
east
would have.
side.
Sure would have. East St. Louis side. That's what I would have done. I mean, honestly, I just am done. I'm done with that. I'm done with it. And it's no news. It is no news to anyone that there might be racism in the royal family. Hello. These are the British who enslaved millions of slaves. Hello, everybody. What is new here? Trust me, that stuff still runs deep in these people.
Yeah.
This is not a Cinderella world. You are dealing with some people that have a long history of racism and marginalization of a people. You know, so I just don't, Denise.
No, that's my granddaughter.
Oh, they need to come into the conversation then.
My granddaughter's here visiting for the weekend.
Hi. Hi.
Maya.
We can hear y'all. Maya, we can hear y'all's conversation. Hi, Maya.
So, she's in another room, actually.
Oh, Lord. So anyway, my point is that it just is not, I don't know why people are surprised by this and why this is such a big deal. Everybody acts so shocked that this doesn't happen, but I understand that Pierce Morgan made some comment about the fact that Meghan would bring this to light and you know, bring up, resurface this and mar the image of the royal family. And so now he's under investigation for this, for making this comment. But you have to understand that there are people who really believe in that whole protocol of being British, you know, the image of the royal family being put up on a level of respect. And this is basically debasing all of that for them by having this discussion on airing their problems in the public, and especially on Oprah, one of the biggest. You know, if you want to go out live and you want to go out big, you definitely need to get Oprah.
That's right.
I think that they're seeing this as a selfish ploy on Meghan's part.
Yeah, because I'm going to go on Oprah about Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak stealing my suits and stealing some of my songs and music, and see where that goes.
They didn't steal your music. They didn't steal your music. They emulated your music. They didn't steal it. The suits. Yeah, you have a case right there. The suits. They definitely stole the suits. So, yeah, but I think that there's a lot of people that are from, you know, from that side that are making comments about just this whole situation with her and the royal family. I heard that Candace Owens also made some comment, but I'm gonna skip past her because that just watching her makes me mad. So I'm just gonna skip past her. And I heard that Sharon Osbourne also made some comments. Yeah, made some comments about it. Which, interestingly enough, people are accusing Sharon Osbourne of being racist. I don't think Sharon Osbourne is racist. I think that Sharon Osbourne is accused of putting her foot in her mouth many times, since that's just how that family is. She's definitely not. I don't think she's racist at all. I just think that that's the situation. But Dad, what is your opinion on all of that?
Well, I don't know what these people's personal opinions are, and deep down, deep settled. But I never put my foot in my mouth, so what makes me her any different from me?
Well, you know what, Dad?
When it comes to race, I come out and I tell the truth.
Yeah, this is true. And you've led a different life than Sharon Osbourne has. I mean, Sharon Osbourne has pretty much wrangled her husband's career to be the success that it is today, because he could not have done it without her. And she's just one tough cookie. She says whatever is on her mind. But I don't think that she is racist. I think that she just speaks her mind. She says what comes out of her mind. She's not racist at all. Um, but that family is known to do stuff like that. They say stuff that's just, they're interesting in that aspect, because you don't know what's going to come out of their mouths.
Mm.
They just say it and don't think about the implications of it, because unfortunately that's part of what white privilege is all about. They don't think about it from that perspective. They only think it from their myopic viewpoint of stuff. So they just say it not thinking that it might come out as being racist, or might seem that it's insensitive, because that's just how they are. But she did make a statement, a public statement, saying that she was shocked that people would think that she's racist. And I'm telling you, she's not racist. My husband, when he was when he was touring at Ozfest, could attest to the fact that she's not racist. She just she just says what's on her mind. You
Well,
know,
maybe she can
as
afford to.
well, this is true, and that's what I'm saying. White privilege.
Mm.
The fact is that they don't see it from that point of view, or how it's going to come out, or how it's going to be turned. They're not sensitive to that, and how people are going to view it, or that they're going to take it into context and view it in a sense that it might look as if it's racist. And this is why she's shocked as a result of that. But I'm here to tell people that she's not racist. You know, you could prove me wrong if you want to, but this woman is just this is a woman who's just definitely accused of putting her foot in her mouth. Now, as far as Pierce Morgan, I don't think that he's racist either. I think that he's a purist when it comes to British royalty. And I feel that he is appalled by the fact that he thinks that it's beneath anybody to bring up any of the things that are going on within the royal family. He's a traditionalist in that sense. So, I don't, I mean, hey, folks, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, I don't know. I did. I know you said something about Candace Owens making a comment about it. So, Dad, before, what did she say? Because you and I did discuss this
I,
last
I,
night, and I
I,
kind of want to get done.
she just said something to the point of that she wasn't, she didn't look black enough to be having a problem about being black, you know, because of her appearance. Meaning, I guess she looked more white than she does black. But
Well,
our
in
poor
all
president,
honesty,
our poor President Obama, who was half white, he looked more black than he did white, so he got the shit kicked out of him all the time, right?
Dad, you cursed.
Oh,
Okay, so
are they gonna take me off?
no, no. We got kids watching the show. So listen, the thing is this. No, Megan does not look black like me, or like half the women out there. I mean, I know, the girl straightens her hair and she tries to fit in to society. Nobody really would know that she was black. They would think that she's something, but they would never know. I mean, we recognize our own people, but um, Candace making that comment about it actually is kind of hilarious in that sense, because it's kind of the truth. I've seen their baby, and their baby does not look black whatsoever. That baby looks just like Harry. You know, I, I don't know. I mean, there is the possibility that down the road they're going to have a child that is going to look like a black child, or have more African features. Those type of features, but it is what it is. I don't understand why they're shocked by this, given the fact that Harry has often been enamored by black women. So I don't know.
No, I don't either.
So it's just ridiculous. If you ask me, it's so stupid. The whole colorization and all that, and in British history too. There have been black royals through history in Germany and in Norway, I believe. There are black royals, but they don't care about this kind of stuff. I just want to know. I want people to understand that you're talking about the British culture right here, and the Spanish and the British and the French are known to have had slaves. And you have to understand that this is where this comes from. This mentality comes from this European colonistic viewpoint, from those three nations that have populated half the world with, slaves and enslaved people. So I don't know why anybody's shocked.
Well, the next time I talk to Stacey Dash, I'll get her opinion. She probably knows.
Oh gosh. Let's just stay right there for a minute when it comes to Stacey Dash before we move on to our next subject. I recall seeing something where apparently she's asking forgiveness of the African American community for all of the things that she said when she was in her white right wing fever. So I just want to know. She's asking for us to forgive her for those comments,
Right.
and asking us to embrace her again as a community, which we did before. Um,
Right.
it's not up to us as a community to embrace her. I think that what we are
It could
disappointed in
it
is
could
some of
have
the
been her
rhetoric.
it could have been her diabetes that caused her to do this.
And why do you say that? Her diabetes. Why are you saying that?
You haven't been reading the news, have you?
No, no. Why? What?
Oh, it was
Wait a minute.
something that
I do recall somebody said something that, and they blamed it on their diabetes.
it was that their diabetes caused them to go off and do something awful or say something awful to some. Oh, the announcer that used the N word for the
Oh
Oklahoma
yes,
State girls basketball team. He said it was his
yes,
diabetes that caused him to react that way.
yes. Where he called those girls the N word because they
Because
decided to
they
kneel
were
during the national anthem.
kneeling at the national anthem.
Hmm.
Which,
Is he fired yet? Is he fired
no,
yet?
oh no, because his diabetes caused it. It wasn't anything else. Uh, but if that's the case, there's sure a lot of people that have been eating a lot of sugar around here. I don't know what, but my
I'm
opinion,
sorry. Whatever is on your heart, it comes out
you know,
definitely, and that's on his heart. I don't think.
yeah.
First of all, there definitely needs to be a petition to fire him. I don't care if it was his diabetes or not, because he needs to be fired. I'm outraged by that. I did hear it, um, and it's so sad in this 21st century that this is going on. Um, let's talk about this, because we do have to wrap it up. And sadly, I don't want to end this on a bad note, but I definitely want to talk about what is going on in this country before we get off the air. So, uh, about a week ago, there was a mass murder of these women that were working in spas in Atlanta. Um, I believe that 8 people were killed as a result of this. 8 women were killed. Um, wow, this is difficult to talk about.
Hmm.
So I just want people to know that this is an American problem. This is an American problem. This is not a problem about hate against one race of people or anything like that. This is a consistent behavior of America. This is what this is. You've got a country that does not own up to the demarginalization and systematic racism of people of color in this country, and how this has been strategically planned and created. And it didn't help that we had an idiot in office that unearthed this. How evil his rhetoric, his speech, uh, blaming a group of people for a virus, his commentary. Yes, America is a young country and we have a lot of ignorance here. We have not advanced ourselves as a country. And I'm going to tell you why we have not advanced ourselves in the country, because we have omitted people's stories out of history. We have omitted the significance of people of color in this country. We have omitted giving people the opportunity to have a chance to be on equal footing of people that are here in America and giving them that opportunity to live. We have omitted getting rid of stereotypes. We've omitted a lot of things and shoved it under a rug. And what happens every once in a while is that people look under your rug and they see how dirty it is. This is an American problem. I think what we are doing is detrimental to us as people of color is that we're not unifying as a whole. This is not an Asian problem. This is not a Black problem. This is not a Native American problem. This is an American problem, and we have to unify as people to fight this and make sure that things are changed in this country. I am so heartbroken over this. I'm so heartbroken. Now, I understand that they say this young man did this because he was religious and he felt that these women were a sexual, he was attracted to these women, so he decided that he was going to annihilate them. My God, seriously? And here lies another stereotype. There's a lot of people that believe that these women were sex workers. That's a stereotype that is perpetuated in America. You know, I just hate what's going on. These women had families, they had kids, they had lives. They came here to have a better life, and you would just wipe them out like that? Our systems that are put in place as far as people being able to have guns and the way that we esteem this type of violence, by putting guns in hands of people who are not meant to have guns, I'm just so heartbroken over this. I don't even know how to approach it. My heart is hurting over everything that's going on in this country. Everything. We are a 21st century country. We have some of the smartest people in the world living in this country, some of the most wealthiest people in the world, some people who are doing amazing things when it comes to advocacy, and yet and still this is going on in our country. It seems like every 6 months it's like some kind of cyclical thing going on where there's this abject racism and acts of violence against communities.
Oh, I agree with you. I really do.
I think one of the things that we need to actually talk about here too is the fact that there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with mental illness, and I believe that this man was mentally ill as well. From what I understand, he was very religious. He came from a very religious family, and we kind of talked about that at the beginning, about the fact that there's this restrictiveness on people who are legalistic Christians, and that's what I'm going to call them. Not dealing with problems and thinking that God is going to wash it away. And here's the thing: I believe I'm a great woman. I'm a woman of great faith, but I also know that God has put people in place for us to be able to talk to. That physicians, doctors, just the way that things are. We are not perfect people. We're not, and to make somebody believe that you have to live a perfect life and not deal with your mental issues is unrealistic. It really is. It's creating monsters like this young man. It's creating monsters like him. But it's an American problem. The racism here, it's just to the elevation of, and the thing is that It's been unearthed. It was unearthed. It's always been here. Let's be clear about that. It's always been here. But after this president, after having Trump in the office, it just became much more prominent. And he knew exactly what he was doing, which is why I don't think very much about him. And I'm going to tell some of my friends out there who are supporters of Trump, I don't care who's in office. I don't care. I'm not somebody that stays to party lines. I really don't. I want the best person for the job they are running this country. But I also know that this man is not the the God that people think he is, or not the great person that he thinks he is. Because I'm telling you that this man, what he did, he just gave everybody the license to come and do whatever they wanted to do when it came to these kind of issues, when it came to racial issues and divide in this country. He did that on purpose, and he did it for himself. He didn't do it for you. He did it for himself. And at the end of the day, that man is not thinking about you. That man is thinking about himself like he always has. But now he's left a mess in his wake. And he has created, you know, his, in some ways, now it's become more visible. And I want to thank him for that. But in other ways, how are we going to handle the amount of racism and the acts of violence of people of color in this community? How are we going to do this now? We realize that this is happening. We realize that this is prevalent now. We know it exists. We have social media that is exposing everything. How are our political officials that are in office right now going to deal with this? I don't care if you give a statement saying you stand with the community. What in the hell are you doing about this?
Mm-hmm.
Take some of the things that have been in the past in this country, expose it, apologize for some of the issues that have occurred in this country. Because I'm going to tell you, an apology will go a long way. It will soothe and heal a lot of people in this country if you apologize for the things that have gone on in this country and expose it.
Yes, I
instead
agree.
of covering it up. You're covering up a bleeding heart with a band-aid. And that's where it starts. And then you start breaking down those structures that cause this ignorance in our country. Start rewriting our history books so that everybody's story is there, everybody's contribution is there. For the first time this week at my job, I watched Hidden Figures. I had not watched the film. And I was so full of mixed emotions while I was watching it. And it was and we watched the film together in a virtual setting. There were all kinds of women, and there are all women, all backgrounds, all colors. It was my first time watching that, and I felt a little angry. And I'm gonna tell you why I felt angry. I felt angry because I recall growing up in the 60s, going to school at Rufus Easton, how the whole country stopped when somebody landed on the moon. And we sat in a classroom and watched it on television. They literally rolled the television in there and they let us watch it on television. If I had known at that time, as a little Black girl, that there was a face that looked like mine behind the scenes doing something, how would that have affected me and changed my life? How would that have changed my life? Would have been a scientist, would have gone into science. Now, Dad, you were the exception. But think about it. Most Black people never went into science or chemistry or anything like that, or astrophysics. Nobody went into those kind of stuff, those kind of things. But if we had known technology right now is suffering in our community. Black kids, Black boys and girls are not going into tech. They're not going in, and this is the future. Tech is the way of the future. They're not going into it because they're not being exposed to this one. They don't have examples of people that are shown to them that are in it, that are succeeding in that, and that's not given to them as far as an option as when they go to school. It might be business, it might be art, it might be social work, but nothing that has to deal with these kind of things. And so I had mixed feelings about that movie, because I remember sitting in my class watching that, and if I had known if there was somebody that looked like me behind there doing all those things, God, how different things would have been. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that we're seeing these stories come to light now, but now we need to take what our children are, what you're giving our children in history classes, and you need to give everybody's story and everybody's contribution to this world. So, Dad, I'm sorry. I stepped down from my soapbox. Is there
No,
anything you
that's
want to say?
okay. I I, I understand wholeheartedly. Um, I always said, that if um, this country had done right after slavery, the 40 acres and a mule or whatever, and gave everybody their equal rights and standing, I instead of doing the stupid stuff that they did, that this country would be 5 times greater probably than what it is today, and the dominant force in the world. But because of the lack of doing that and doing the right thing, we are where we are today, and we're suffering from it. You know.
Well,
And
it wasn't
oh,
stupid, Dad. It wasn't stupid. It was strategic. This has
yeah,
always been designed, and at some point, maybe on one of our shows, I'm going to tell you why it was designed to do that.
right,
Because it was supposed to be a European utopian society with it being a caste system, literally people of color being on the bottom line. So it just is. It just is the way it is, and I think that people of color here in America, no matter what color you identify or what people you come from, the thing is that everybody has a story of how they contributed to this country because this country would not be the country it is, and yet that's what they sell to everybody is that we're a country of diversity, we're a country of equality. Uh, no, we're not. We have not been, and now we're seeing it. And so I think something has to be done. Something has to be done. I don't need to have an icon in office, a woman of color who's an icon. I want to see things being changed. I want to see stuff being set to right.
right.
You know.
I
So
recommend everyone again. I recommend everyone again to make sure they watch the 14th Amendment series on Netflix.
yeah,
14th Amendment.
14th Amendment. And once again, you all, our hearts go out to all of those who lost their lives in this tragedy in Atlanta. Their families, our prayers go out to them and their families, their kids, their husbands, their friends, the community as a whole. We stand with you, and we are going to be a voice for you. Because we know what that's like. We know what that's like. So we embrace you, and we love you all, and you know, we're just going to try to fight to make this a better America. So we'll be back here next Saturday, same time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We've said a lot today. You know, um, please go like and subscribe at Cliff Dive Productions, and like, subscribe, and follow us. Comment on these videos and stuff like that. We are a production company. We're new, but we do all kinds of content. So we'd really like your support and appreciate that. And Dad, I will see you next week here on
Okay.
the show, same time. Thank you, everybody who came out and followed us today. We'll see you next week at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Take care.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye, everybody. Love you.